every time you feel like you're free falling, he's gonna catch you every time. It may be like at the exact moment when you about to hit the ground,
But you
but
didn't hit the ground.
you
You
didn't
got
hit the
scared.
ground
You
though.
got
But did
scared.
you die?
But
But
did
did
you
you
die?
die? Exactly. Oh no! They don't get it. It's okay. We get it.
I was like, yes, Lord, come on with the cancellations.
Whew, we going in and now just kidding.
I don't know if you know this, but I'm black. Am I good?
He's with the best of them, and he's one of my favorite men to come emphasize.
that entrance sounds like much more than who I actually am.
So my guest of honor has a light that shines so bright that it causes the atmosphere to shift. His energy is infectious, and it grants everyone around him the permission to exude joy. No matter what the circumstance may be, there's always a positive transaction that occurs when you interact with him. I believe that he was sent here by God to show others that you can be your authentic self. He's a mentor, a motivator, and the host of the Moment of Clarity Spontaneous podcast. Today, my guest of honor is Larry Douglas. How you doing, bro?
Hey, so oh man, I need to get some Kleenex or something, man. That introduction, though. I was like, is she talking about me? Oh my God.
I am talking about you. For real. I don't know if you know that about yourself for real. It's like people do feel at ease when they're around you. And that's a gift. Like everybody doesn't have
I be trying. You know, you don't try, you do. And I guess I'm doing. So, you know, I'm out here just trying to shine my light. That's really about it.
Well, it's a blessing, and people don't do that. So that's why it's such a breath of fresh air, because a lot of people don't care. So the fact that you care is a beautiful thing.
Oh, like it's because I'm not one of those fake people. So like, the world is fake enough. If you go and just put out that fake love, like keep it to yourself, go put it somewhere in like a little corner, because it's all about that, that genuine love. Like,
yeah, I agree. How has the pandemic been going for you?
Honestly, like, I'm finally kind of like coming back to myself. Like, I'm Mr. Extrovert. So like in the beginning of it, I kind of slipped into a slight depression because I couldn't go out. I couldn't see my friends. I couldn't even work. My job shut down for 3 months. So it was weird being stuck in the house that long, not being able to do anything, really kind of like looking at myself in the situation I'm in, or just the place I'm at in life. And it got depressing for a second. It really did, because I don't feel like I'm where I want to be in life, but I know I'm where I need to be.
Yeah.
And so like the flesh part of me gets bummed out because I'm not where I personally want to be, but God, it keeps telling me and putting me in situations to be like, oh no, this is exactly where you're supposed to be.
Absolutely.
I kind of titled my podcast Moment of Clarity, because it be random, spontaneous moments of like clear thinking, and it's like, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be in life.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that.
So in the early stages, like I said, I was really depressed, and it took me kind of like seeing that everybody else was going through it too. And that just made me be like, okay, look, you know who you are, and you know that there's a reason for this. So find the bright side. Find out why God wants you to be in the house. So I started doing a lot of reading, a lot of writing. I just started putting thoughts on paper. You know what I mean? And that helped me kind of like focus on what my main issues were. And when I isolated my issues, I realized they really weren't that bad. They really weren't. Like, I got a roof over my head. I got a job. I mean, I have a little bit of money in the bank. I'm not like seriously injured or disabled. I'm not sick. I'm not on somebody's deathbed with COVID. I'm still here.
Right.
That means that there's still work to be done. And when I got to that point, it was like, okay, I'm okay. I'm okay. This too shall pass. Like, and here we are, 2021. This year's almost over. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
like,
it's over.
and it's like, wow, okay. Now, like, hopefully, things are gonna get back to normal. People are starting to go back outside. People are starting to become more social. And I'm finding myself again. I'm slowly, finding myself again and being happy about it. And I'm moving forward, moving forward. I'm getting closer and closer to starting my nonprofit, like, and that's, the end all be all. So like the closer I get to that, that means I'm doing something right. Progress is still being made. So
Absolutely. That's the key too. Like a lot of people get so caught up in um where we see ourselves, but we
yeah,
forget that we're not even driving the ship. It's like we just here for the ride, God controlling
put
this,
your hands up, put your hands up and just enjoy the
Right.
ride.
We just on the ride. Like, I heard somebody say something like, I'm tall enough for this ride and I'm gonna take the picture and pay for it at the end. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, and I think that's real. Like you have to take that time to exude that gratitude because that's the only way you're gonna be okay with where you are and
Mhm.
understand that God is putting you in the right places. It does not always look great, but sometimes it does. So, but you wouldn't
Right.
recognize that.
Everything that look good ain't always good for you, but things that look bad might be the best thing for you.
I tend to think that they are because I think a lot of people think when they see what you present, like
Mhm.
they think that everything is like roses, and I can speak for myself. My journey is always up and down, like roller coaster for real. But the only thing that keeps me level is gratitude and knowing that I'm not where I want to be, but I'm actively working towards it. So that's what it's about. That's what it's about. So tell me how you started or when you started your podcast and like what made you want to start it.
Like I said, it's a spontaneous podcast.
Hmm.
So I would have random moments and I'd be like, you know what? I wonder if people are going through the same thing I'm going through. I wonder if people are thinking about the same thing I'm thinking about. And I kind of just started recording little videos of myself, like asking questions, polling my Facebook friends and things like that. And it kind of grew a little bit because it's really not even fully where I want it to be. It's still kind of like incubating and developing and becoming bigger as I do it more and more. Because
Hmm.
like in the beginning, I think it started like probably 2000. The first video I ever recorded podcast wise was like 2011, 2000.
Okay.
And then I had an internet like little radio show with some friends. I don't know
Hmm.
if you Fishbowl Radio Network.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
remember
like
that.
we had like a little radio kind of podcasty type of thing there for a little while called Rap and Reality, right?
Hmm.
And so we would do that. We probably did that for maybe 2 months. And then it kind of like faded off. And then I moved to New York. And then I started traveling for work. And I was like, I travel a lot. I should make it like a travel podcast. Like,
Hmm.
and so then I would do like little videos when I would be getting ready to board a plane, and ask people questions. And then I found out about this app called Anchor.
Hmm.
And then I started doing it on there and like I kind of hit Anchor real hard. Like,
Hmm.
so I had like maybe 15, 16 episodes on Anchor, just random podcasts. Um, and then it kind of went to Facebook Live. And it's really just anywhere that I could talk to people and get opinions and just talk music, religion, sports, culture, education, anything, I felt like that was podcast material.
Yeah.
And then probably like in the last couple years, like podcasting took off.
Oh yeah.
Everybody and their mama got a podcast now, like cooking podcast, music podcast, dancing podcast, and not no knock it, you know what I'm saying? More power to you. You know what I mean? Like everybody's got an opinion, everybody's got a voice that they should put out there. You know what I'm saying? So to anybody that think they might want to start a podcast, go for it. Like go for it. Like go for it. Like you got nothing really to lose. And you never know who might value what you have to say.
That's true. I always say do it. Just do it.
Just be Nike. Just do it. Like just do it. Like because there's so many different opinions out there. Like everybody has an opinion. And there's nobody to say whose opinion is better than whose opinion, you know. It's all perspective. It's all point of view. It's all, you know, what matters to you, what matters to the next person. So what got me started is, obviously I love to talk. So like, you know, obviously I feel like I have something that should be heard. And it's really like a positive light, a positive influence. And, you know, jump out there. Don't be scared. Like,
yeah,
that can happen.
Like, they just don't say no. Oh, well, we'll just keep going.
That's it. That's all. I mean, I'm saying I'm trying to pitch mine to a network or something like, and it's hard. It's really hard. And I shout out those people like you with the dedication and the, you know, commitment to really keep going. Like I loved it. Like I love it. I be watching. You did the one with you did the Master P. I be checking you out, and you've always been a positive person in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like since we met.
I want to know like where this personality and this mindset came from, because positivity is something that you choose, I feel. And I think that it's important to tell people, like, although things may not always go right, how you continuously try to find that positive light.
You know, I think like you said, you know, you hit on it when you said being grateful, like just being, you know what I'm saying? Gratitude goes a long way.
It does.
And I am grateful for everything that I did. And because I didn't have nothing growing up. I didn't have really anything growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like I moved around a lot. So I was the new kid pretty much at every like major school I went to. And so it's perspective. You know what I mean? Like growing up in the projects and seeing the projects. And that's kind of like your environment. That's what you're used to. And that's kind of, it seems like that's all you know. And then I moved from the projects to the suburbs.
Wow.
Like suburbs, like white settlement. And it was different because like at that time I was the only Black kid in my 5th grade class.
Wow.
And so at the time, you know, I'm in the 5th grade, it doesn't really like hit me, you know, that like I'm the only Black kid in the class, you know, like. And then I get older and I realize, like I look back at things like that, you know, and I look at like how I was treated, or, you know, and how I felt like I was treated pretty well. Nobody treated me bad or anything like that. I was a popular kid. I was smart. I was friendly. I met people. It exposed me to different things. It exposed me. So like I got to go on trips, you know, I'm staying a night at friends' house. Their mom's like picking me up from school. Their mom is calling my mom. It's okay for me to spend the week at my friend's house. Like just, you know, I get exposed to a different environment. And it's like, okay, I was used to this. And now I see that this is out here.
Yeah.
How do I get more of that? I loved school. every event that the school had, I was there. Every, like it was my escape. School was an escape. And then the older you get, you appreciate that. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Kids don't realize that. Kids don't realize how good free education is.
Real talk.
Like,
Real talk.
learn as much as you can for free.
Yep.
Because when it comes time to pay for it, it's a totally different story. It's a totally different story.
Lord.
Things that you thought were interesting don't even really seem that interesting because you got to pay for it.
It's definitely not. Definitely
hobbies
not.
change. Hobbies change. Things like that. And so from the projects to the suburbs to kind of the projects again, because and it was like, okay, how do I get back to that environment? And then moving around a lot, things you can't control. But then when you get old enough and you can control them, you realize how important your choice is. You realize how important your choice is. Like you said, positivity is a choice. And I think probably 8th grade, I learned about the ability to choose. Choose right from wrong, choose yes or no, choose positive or negative, choose good or bad. Like that's a very pivotal age. You know what I'm saying? Like you're about to go to high school. You're freshly teenager. Like the ability to choose. Can nobody take the ability to choose away from you? Like God gave us free will for that exact reason. Like
absolutely.
You choose what comes into your life. You choose the people you surround yourself with. You choose how you see things. Optimism and pessimism is a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the day, it's a choice. You could choose to see that glass half empty, or you could choose to see that glass half full. And I think once I learned that, I started to choose positivity, choose the bright side there, because there's a bright side to everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I think once I learned that, I started looking at things differently.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was like, no, I'm not going to let anybody shape this from me. I'm going to choose the bright side. I'm going to choose the light versus the dark. And I've been choosing it ever since.
Yes, you have. And it shows. Even when I can't, because people think that like I don't go through things because I'm so positive. Like, we go through more, actually.
Yes, we do.
We go through more, actually.
The devil has to try harder to break us.
Yep.
And people don't see that. Like, it's harder to choose positivity every day.
It sure
every
is.
day. Versus, you know what? Just saying, forget this. Like, why me? Why it gotta be me? Why? Out of all days, why me?
Because you were chosen. And I think that like whenever I start getting in those phases where I want to veer that way, I remember that if I want to be an anomaly, I have to go through things that other people won't go through. And so it's like when I make my decisions, I choose the outcome too. Like I'm okay with the outcome of my decisions because I made the decision. So if I want a positive outcome, I have to choose positivity. Like there's no other option, No other option.
Thinking multiplied by positive actions equals positive results. You can't get a negative from that.
No, you can't. You definitely cannot. Like, and I wish more people would say the things that you're saying because, like, we both come from the hood. Like, this is not. I feel like being exposed to where I come from and where you come from, that kind of gave us the core values that we needed, or like that survival instinct, right? But then when you got to your new space, you were able to adapt because you know how to survive.
Oh yeah. Like,
yes.
Street smart and book smart.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like you learn the things, you learn behavior, you learn how bad it could get.
Yep.
But you see, how good it could get.
Yep. Yes, sir. What would you say are your core values?
Um, ooh, let's see. I go with integrity, uh, leadership, work ethic,
Absolutely. Yep.
and probably, like respect. Yeah, because I feel like just being respectful, being trustworthy, being a leader, main things pretty much.
Mhm. Yep. I can
Yeah.
see I can see that because like I feel like when you exude those things, you're gonna always build a platform or a foundation that's like credible. You know? Like if you can exude
Hmm.
those things, you'll always have credibility. I do feel like that those things will help you to um add credibility to your name, and people don't realize that your relationships
Hmm.
a lot of times are the things that get you to the next level. And I'm not saying go out here and be like, bowing down to people or anything to build a relationship, but I'm saying those connections that you get to make or have can lead you to the next level, regardless of where you're trying to go. People will always remember how you make them feel. So,
Yes.
and I
Yes.
think that that's
Yes.
your core values will definitely help people whenever you interact with them. Whenever you interact with them, that's crazy.
I
Um,
I'm really just trying to be me because I feel like it could have been so bad. It could have been so bad.
hmm
I could have been out here just woo,
yeah,
woo, woo,
especially with
woo.
whatever we've been exposed to, we could
Man,
either choose right or left easily.
man, man. And
It was,
like just the choice and like those core things I definitely like pride myself on.
hmm Do you have a
Loyalty.
yeah, yeah. Do you have a specific philosophy that you live by or a quote that you kind of like go by daily?
Um, a few actually.
Okay.
I definitely, blessed and thankful to see yet another day, like for sure.
hmm
Um, every new day, you know what I'm saying? I'm blessed to see it because not everybody's able.
Yeah.
And I'm always grateful because, I'm glad you chose me.
Yeah.
Um, any day I'm upright, I'm all right.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
You know, because again, it could be worse.
hmm
Um, yeah, the positive thinking multiplied by positive actions equals positive results. Yeah, I'm definitely like the affirmation guy. Like I be talking to myself, just teamwork make the dream work.
Yep.
There's a few. If you're on time, you're late.
Yeah.
Then if you're early, you're on time.
Absolutely. Drum line on deck.
Like, but
Yes.
yeah, those are just really a few that I
Yeah.
definitely myself at least each one of those. I'm probably saying each one of those probably 3 to 4 times a day.
You gotta talk yourself through the day for sure. Definitely gotta talk yourself through the day. So tell me how you define being free. Like what does being free mean to you?
you know, this is the one I've been circling. This is the one I've been circling
Because that
because
definition is interesting.
because you know, whoo, free is a tough one.
hmm
Free is a tough one because I don't feel free. I don't. I feel like I'm still working on that freedom. Like if it's not like free from my job. I hate the 9 to 5 hamster wheel work life. I can't wait to be my own boss and work for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Being a slave, or not necessarily a slave, but like being controlled by money, being
Mm-hmm.
controlled by, people's opinions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really trying to break free of that,
Yeah.
because I let what I let other people's opinion of me sometimes put me in a box. And I get mad at myself for doing it because I know I'm more than their opinion. So why do I let it get to me so much?
Yeah.
But like, free to me is working for yourself. Free to me is financial security. Um, Free is being able to come and go whenever I want to. Like, and not just like here locally, I mean like just being able to travel on a whim.
Absolutely.
Being able to just not miss important moments in people I care about's lives.
Mm-hmm.
Always being able to be there. Doing what you want when you want.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very hard nowadays, because it seems like there's always something holding me down. It's always like there's always something coming up. Every time I feel like I'm getting close to a win, something happens. And like I get it. That just means I'm on the right path, because the storm gets tougher the closer you are to a breakthrough.
Oh
Like,
yeah, that resistance gets real.
you know what I'm saying? So every time I'm in a situation like that where I'm like, oh, I'm super close, and something happens, I'm like, I was going in the wrong direction. I was going in the wrong direction. That's, God's rejection is God's protection.
Absolutely. It really is. And sometimes it's hard to swallow that. But there's gonna be a moment where you look back and you like, I understand why I had to do that now. You
It
know?
may come like right after,
Mm-hmm.
but it's gonna come, and you're gonna be like,
Dang.
yeah.
It definitely will come for sure. Like what role does God play in your life?
Comedian. No.
No, for real, no. No, for real.
No. Oh man, yeah, comedian is a good one.
He is a comedian for sure.
Therapist. Um, Protector.
Mm-hmm.
Alarm clock.
Yeah.
Alarm clock. Man, really just, like that 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 presence. That presence of like just a loved one, like, a pat on the back. Like, you know what? I know I got that support. Somebody's rooting me on, like in the back of my ear, like,
Absolutely.
like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, like disciplinarian. Cause when you get older, when you get grown, you feel like you're too old to get whoopings.
Hmm. You think
God,
that?
God got a way of like, you knew better. You knew better. So I had to go You know what I'm saying? I had to go and give you a little slap clap. You know, I
Yeah,
had to go bump your head real quick to teach you that you don't need to be doing that. And you know you don't need to be doing that. And
hmm
so, you know, a few things. But you say, what role does God play? And I feel like all of them, because God puts everybody where they need to be. God, you know, is an author at this life thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't write the stuff that happens,
you're right. You can't.
but you try to make sense of it. Like, what? But I'm not in control, so like, I need to learn to just let go. Like you said, man, put your hands up and enjoy the ride. Like,
For real. Look,
remember that. Remember constantly that I'm not in charge. I'm not in charge. I'm not in charge.
yeah. I feel like it's the hardest thing for some people to grasp. I know I don't want God to ever have to demand my attention ever again. So for me, I'm always in surrender pose because I want him to know that whatever you want to do, just do it because I don't even pay attention to the how anymore. Like literally, I just be like, oh, that's what we doing? All right, cool. Cause like I'm not gonna fight against you anymore. I did that too many years. And I feel like it's just impossible for me to even get to a win or get to the next level if I continuously fight my swords. So
And like, that's what I'm like, hard headed, and I'm really trying to get it. I'm really trying to get it. And it's just like you said, surrender pose. Like, I'm not in charge.
mhm,
Forget the how. Like, forget worrying about that. Just know that I got to do my part, and the rest will be taken care of. Like,
absolutely. And I will say this too, Larry. I'm gonna tell you this from my own personal experience. I struggle weekly. I live basically day to day, week to week, right? That's financially, that's spirit, like I just everything. I focus on things as they are presented because I'm not making $1 million yet. Look, yet.
whew,
But like I have to be grateful for just having that enough to cover everything. Or
yeah.
sometimes it's not enough and I have to go work. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very humbling. And I think a lot of people will look at certain people and be like, you have it all together. And I'm like, nah, that's just him holding the pieces, right? So
Just
I just
look
want to
good. That's all. It just look good.
look, yeah, I just want to make sure I say that because people tend to think what they think, but I'm like, nah, let me tell you the truth. Because it's a grind every day, but it's worth it because I understand my why. And I know you understand yours too. Like if you don't fully have it, you're getting parts of it. And the fact that you're able to acknowledge what needs to be worked on, you're already light years ahead of what you think you are. So I just had to say that real quick. You light years ahead of where you think you
I
are.
sure appreciate it because, and like you said, like, even if I don't have all of the why together just yet, I definitely feel closer to it now at this very moment than
Yeah.
I did a week ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, like, a month ago.
Hmm.
And that is, again, realizing that I'm not in control. Like, I'm just, hey, I'm here. You
Exactly.
did everything, and I'm just gonna step in that. That's all I can do. I just accepted that just now. Like,
You'll feel a lot more free because you
yeah,
accepted it. I
yeah,
promise you. Like it's hard, but it's at the same time it's the easiest. It gets easier as you go through because you find out every time you feel like you're free falling, he's gonna catch you every time. It may be like at the exact moment when you're about to hit the ground,
but you
but
didn't hit the ground.
you
You
didn't
got
hit the
scared.
ground
You
though.
got
But did
scared.
you die?
But
But
did
did
you
you
die?
not? Exactly. But no, I didn't. I'm still here. So it's those close to death moments that really build your faith. And
Mhm.
I think the more you go through it, the more you go through the process, it just teaches you and you just stop caring. It's like unbothered. Just let it happen. Just let it
Ooh,
happen.
ooh, I'm trying to get there because that it's just. You know, and that's a whole word. That's a whole word. That's a whole word. Like, whew, living unbothered. Like,
Yes, living unbothered. And I have people in my life, my friends, they all are financially stable. I'm the only one who not like financially stable like them. But I always say I have mental freedom because a lot of them are hustle and bustle. Like I gotta go to work so I can pay for the things that I bought,
yeah,
type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with it. If that's a decision you made and you want to live this way, that's fine. But I'd rather hold that mental clarity or that freedom in my mind over material things.
yeah.
And I feel like that breaking that cycle is another thing that a lot of people have to get to. Like it's not about the cars, it's about are you at peace?
For
Like
real.
peace.
So that, like, oh, peace.
Yeah.
And I think I'm really getting there
Hmm.
because what I thought I wanted in life, I don't even really want. And it's like,
Hmm.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay with that.
Yeah.
I don't I don't need this, this huge mansion. I don't need these fancy cars. I don't need millions and billions of dollars in the bank.
Nope.
Like
I just want to
I
be a nomad. I just want to be a
like
nomad.
yeah, like I just want to be out here, enjoying every day that I have, like
Mhm.
to the fullest, to the fullest.
And traveling. That's it.
Just seeing things that you don't see every day.
Yes. And I wanted to ask you about work and how it allowed you to be able to travel because I think that people feel like they have to work for Fortune 500 companies or I feel like they have to be making six figures or something like that to be able to enjoy their work. And I just want you to talk a little bit about how your experience at work gave you the opportunity to be able to travel and see other things outside of your norm.
Yeah. Okay. So you gotta, first of all, whatever you do, put your best foot forward. You know what I mean? Whatever you do, try to be the best at that.
Mhm.
Try to be the best at that. And so I started at movie tavern, at movie tavern, where we met watching
Mhm.
movies.
Yep.
Um, and so like, and even the job itself kind of like fell in my lap. So I was in a communication class, and one of my assignments was to go commentate a sports event. And at the
Wow.
time, Movie Tavern was showing the football and basketball games on the big screen. Um, and me and a couple friends would go up there, and I love sports. So I would just be talking, just calling plays, calling the penalties, and it kind of grew. And the manager was like, "Man, you should work here." Long story short, I started working there. They stopped showing the games.
Oh, wow.
But I had to learn how to, I guess, to serve people while the movie was going.
Mhm.
Um, and I love movies, so I figured out the secret to it is don't ruin the movie for people. Like whatever you do, don't ruin the movie. That means instead of me waiting till the previews came on to go take people's order, nope, I was in there before the previews came on. Because by the time the previews come on, I should be just delivering your food. Like you're not gonna see me. But I got really good at it, and they felt like they promoted me to corporate trainer. And now my responsibility was every new movie tavern they opened up, I get to train the servers.
That's so dope.
And so at the time, movie tavern, I'm talking about, they were opening up new taverns left and right. I went from here to Houston. I did my first training in Houston for like a week, small trip. Came back. They were like, "Oh, Larry, you did such a great job. We're going to send you to Baton Rouge to train at a new location." I had never even flown in a plane before this. Like,
Wow.
and yeah, they paid for the flights. my name was on the ticket, so I got to reap the travel benefit rewards, you know? So while Movie Tavern's paying for my trips, I'm earning frequent flyer miles.
Yes, sir.
So I go from Houston back, then I go to Baton Rouge, Louisiana for about 30 days. Go to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, come back. Then I go to, where do we go? Flowertown, Pennsylvania.
Wow. Somewhere you would never be at.
Never. But I got to go to Pennsylvania. And while we were in Pennsylvania, I got to go to Philly.
Wow.
You know, so like I got to see what Philly looked like. I was like, we're here. You know, let's see what the sights are like. We don't work all day. So I got to see what Philly was like. You know, I met some people, you know, did a training event there, probably about 30 days, came back.
Wow.
Go back to Philly again. But this time we went to Exton, Pennsylvania, a little norther. Mind you, I knew some people in Philly, so we got to kick it in Philly more. I saw parts of Pennsylvania that I never would have saw if it wasn't for Movie Tavern. I got to see the Liberty Bell. I got to see just, you know, monuments, history, things like that. Came back, went to Williamsburg, Virginia.
Wow.
While I was in Virginia, got to go to D.C. I would have never been to D.C. if it wasn't for me being in Virginia. Got to see all the monuments, Washington Monument, Martin Luther King Monument, like just that. D.C. is nice and touristy if you're into like the history of it, you know, like the monuments and things like that, and going to see why those people got monuments and why they're so important. And then where else did I go? Then I went back to Louisiana. Then they were like, oh, we're going to open up a Movie Tavern in New York. I was like, sign me up.
Yes.
I'm thinking we're going to New York City. I'm so juiced. I'm like, oh man, I'm going to catch me some Broadway. I'm going to check out the Statue of Liberty. It's about to go down. We fly up there. Tell me why we're in Syracuse.
Oh no, you can go to the college. That's about it.
So I'm like, where are all the buildings at? We're in upstate New York.
Yes, all the way upstate.
I'm talking about upstate New York.
What ferry I need to get on?
Right. So like that was different. That was a culture shock for me because like that was my longest training trip. I actually moved to New York, like because it's such a college town. Every time we got people hired, it was time to go back to school. So like the turnover was crazy.
Wow.
So it took a year to finally get like staffed. So Movie Tavern basically paid for me to move up there. And that was like the first time ever I was on a first class flight. That was the first time ever I rode first class. And if you've never flown first class, treat yourself.
Yes.
Treat yourself. Like free booze, free alcohol. I was getting
I would have been lit too. Like, give me that, all of them. All
man
of them.
next to me, he had ordered a drink, and I was like, "Oh yeah, let me get one of those too." The stewardess brought it to me, and I was like, "Okay, how much I owe you for this?" She was like, "Oh, it's complimentary, sir, first class." I said,
We like that word, complimentary. We like that.
"What?
Yes.
Keep them coming, Bridget." But it was so much fun just being able to see parts of the world that I would never have got to see if it was like just regular. If it was up to me traveling, the farthest I had went normally was Oklahoma. Maybe drove to Shreveport or something like that. But like to be in an airplane that high, like infrequent. I'm talking about I was For 5 years, I was gone. I was gone. Probably I wasn't home longer than 3 weeks.
I love it. That's
On
the
the
life I want right now.
That jet set every time you turn around. Now boarding. Now and it was cool, but at the same time, like I missed a lot.
Yeah.
I missed, I missed my sister graduating high school.
Oh.
I missed the birth of one of my nephews. Missed a couple like weddings. Missed a couple funerals. And so that kind of did something to me a little bit, just because I'm super family oriented.
Yeah.
And like that was the longest me and my siblings have been away. That's the longest I've been away from my mom. Just seeing my people regularly, it was just different. Especially like living in New York, and then when all the snow started coming, I was just like, I only see this on TV. I've never seen this much snow like in real life. I was just like, stop. It snowed for like 3 days, straight.
Ooh. That's real winter.
That's real winter. Like winter when you gotta shovel snow out your driveway. Like Texas know what a real winter is like now after the snowstorm that we had.
But we had
like,
it one time.
But I'm talking about feet of snow. Feet of snow. I had never seen that much white like fall out of the sky in my life. But it was just like I said, perspective. Like when you see how other people live, when you see like other communities, other cities, other states, like it really puts it in perspective. Like I wish Texas was clean as New York.
Upstate though. Upstate New York.
Like upstate New York. Yeah.
Be specific.
Yeah, the part I was in, upstate New York. Like it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like scenery wise, they're top notch. They're up there. They got waterfalls, hiking trails. Like it's just beautiful.
Wow.
But then once that snow comes,
it's a no-go.
The whole nother ball game. Like you got to get your coat from up there. Don't try to get no coat from Texas to think you're going to survive a New York winter.
Nah, you're not.
He's going to rip through that light paper.
You're going to be like Cole when he went to go get that piece on Martin.
Oh,
when he had the door like...
Oh, man, I got one of them, like, I'm talking about like a parka, like with fur on it. To keep me warm. I was the first black Eskimo.
Real talk though. That's so crazy. Look, I just want to say this. I love the fact that the one thing that stood out to me from this whole thing that you just explained is it fell in your lap and you learned how to serve. Those were the two things that stood out to me, because it's like some people think that serving is a low grade job. I'm like, no, you have to be excellent in every aspect.
Man,
and once you learn how to serve, you can lead because you know how to serve.
Yeah,
and that's your story.
Cause that's full circle. I like that.
That's your story.
Like
Real talk.
I'm a people person. I go out to eat. And so I know how I want to be treated when I go out to eat. The key is to treat people like you want to be treated when you go out to eat. You know what I'm saying?
Golden rule. Yep.
I don't really hover over a table. It's simple things. Like it's 80% work ethic, 20% caring about people. You know what I'm saying? Like my work ethic is a lot of what sets me apart. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm waiting tables, but I'm super professional. Uh, super polite. Speaking of polite, when I was in upstate New York, I don't know what it is about the word ma'am and just manners that rubs them the wrong way.
They're New Yorkers, bro. New Yorkers
And
don't like that.
that was an adjustment like I had to make. Like, being in hospitality, rule number one is you don't offend anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but every time I would say the word ma'am, I get like, do I look 40 to you? Excuse me.
Actually, yes.
I
There's
was
nothing wrong with
trying
it.
to be polite.
It's just different. It's different. Different areas and different zones do different things. And I've learned that as well. Like, we are extremely, well, our parents taught us manners. So
Oh yeah.
if
Oh
we
yeah.
didn't do it, we get slapped, you know?
My single mother don't play that.
Yeah, mine neither. Phyllis Marie don't play those games.
I swear, I'm in my 30s and I still yes ma'am, no ma'am. Like, cause if I don't, like,
You trying to block the hand? Like, what? Which way you
like she
coming
gonna
from?
jump out somewhere. She gonna jump out somewhere, slap me on the back of the neck, punch me in the throat, something. So
That's
trust,
crazy.
that's in me. Like, I can't turn that off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like you said, learning how to serve, you learn how to lead, because I didn't even really teach people anything. It's just showing them the way. Like, what it's like to go out to eat. Like, like, just think about that when the shoe's on the other foot.
It's that simple. And it's a golden rule that we've all known for our entire lives. And I
Treat
think
people how you want to be treated.
Yep. People complicate life more than it has to be. It's like, if you keep it simple and just do the things that you know to do, it will be okay. Like, things will flow, stuff will fall in your lap. You were being obedient by doing what you're supposed to do for class. That fell in your lap and it led to all of this. And I'm so glad that you're so open and sharing your story and you're not ashamed of anything, because that story, to me, some kid needs to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Some of us are going to be in different lanes. Everybody's going to be in different positions and different careers. Every student is not going to college. I tell kids all the time, if you don't want to go, let's find you another route. Because college is not for everybody. And I feel like I could have made it without college in real life. I'm in debt. So, but I think that it's important that we share our stories and be authentic, because that can very well unlock the idea for somebody else. Like,
No,
they're
for
gonna
real.
see
For
for
real.
real, and they'll
real.
see themselves in you,
I am not ashamed.
and nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
Like, I read somewhere that they were saying, like, this is me saying about people's opinions sometimes, like, nailing me in the coffin. That a single man in his 30s with no kids is a red flag.
So is a woman. No, they say it for both of us.
And I said, what?
Yeah.
Just because I'm a unicorn, I'm a rare breed out here, I gotta be a red flag?
That's all right. I'm gonna be a red flag. Just leave me alone. Because if you think like that, we're not gonna mesh anyway. So keep it moving. Keep it moving. Which is it is interesting to unpack that though. If you don't have some of us don't want kids. I personally don't want none. You know what I'm saying?
I have 24 nieces and nephews.
Exactly. I work with children. I have a zillion kids. Like, that I didn't birth, but they're mine. You know what I'm saying? I nannied a zillion kids.
Yeah, like, I got my connections. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And I can send them home. And that's it.
Time is up.
Bye. Yeah. Everybody not gonna want that. Like, that's why it's important to understand what type of lifestyle you want and tailor your life like that. So since I said that, I'm gonna ask you, like, if Larry could build his perfect lifestyle, what does your lifestyle look like? What would you want it to be? You kind of touched on it already, but I just want you to go ahead and say it again.
Okay, so I say that but I do want to be a dad, like one day. Like I do want to be. I'm not gonna say like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh no, I don't want no kids ever. Like I'm just not.
Just
No,
not right now.
just not like not right now. Like,
Yeah.
and I can't even say like not right now because like that not right now could be like not in the next 5 years, not
Right.
in like when the time is right, the time will be right.
Yep.
But like right now, I feel like I'm so focused on like so much other stuff,
Yep.
So like my lifestyle, I would want to be my perfect lifestyle. Like
No limits.
I would be able to just like wake up in a king size bed with these silk blanket on, with some silk blanket, be able to get out of bed and have breakfast. And when I say like have breakfast, that means be able to go like have breakfast anywhere I want. If I say if I want like croissants in Paris, I want to be able to go get me some fresh croissants in Paris.
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to enjoy what I want to enjoy when I want it. So it's like, okay, being able to wake up in a big bed, with someone I care about, or by myself. Like if I'm waking up next to like somebody I care about, that's cool. But if I'm by myself, that's cool too. Able to have breakfast. Then having video meetings throughout the day with my friends or, whatever meetings I may have, being able to video meetings from breakfast to about 10, 11. After my morning meetings, I would like to go probably see some family or like some form of communication with family after that point, because after I work for a little bit, there's got to be some family time. Then have lunch. You know what I'm saying? Like 3 meals a day is like for sure. Being able to see family when I want to, being surrounded by people I care about, doing what I love to do, helping people, then stopping by an activity center I get built for my nonprofit kids. Stop by the activity center, see how it's going, mingle with the kids, give a couple motivational speeches, go back home for the end of the day, unwind, relax, get ready for the next day. You know what I'm saying? Like just freedom to help people, see family, eat whenever I want to. That would be the life. That would be the life.
And it's not something that's like that you can't do.
Right. Yeah. It's not like it's not super extravagant. It's not super extravagant. It's family, doing what I love, eating what I want.
And helping people.
Yeah, helping people. Like simple. Like I'm a really simple dude. I'm a super simple dude, and I don't need much to gain like success or like to be happy with life.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I just have 2 more questions for you.
What you got?
All right. So, what are your 5 non-negotiables when it comes to friendships and relationships?
I got 5 for my relationships, and then I got 5 for like my friendships. Because, so when it comes to relationships, oh man, attraction, trust, communication, honesty, and respect. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, because I mean, because I'm super honest, like, and blunt, and sometimes it can make me look really bad, but I would rather you have the truth than to like have to figure out what I'm trying to say, like it's some kind of cryptic message or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I just have to be somewhat attracted to you some way.
That's
Somewhat.
important. It's
Like
important.
somewhat. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a physical attraction or whatever. Like it could be a mental attraction. I just need to be, you know, attracted to you some way. We need to be able to communicate. Like, because communication is really like bold, italicized, underlined. If you don't want to communicate, that's gonna be a problem. Because I mean I talk and I definitely like will express how I feel. And I try to do it as honest as possible. Um, but someone told me that, you know, like honesty without compassion is the definition of cruelty. And I try to be compassionate when I'm letting people know how I feel, but sometimes it just comes out.
Yeah.
And knowing, like, even if you don't understand what I'm saying, say something so I could kind of interpret what you're saying or what you got from it, and then I could, like, that creates the dialogue and we could figure it out. But
Yeah.
like not saying anything or not being able to express anything could be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, like honesty for sure. Honesty for sure. If you can't be honest, then I don't got the time. Like, because if you can't be honest with yourself, you definitely can't be honest with me.
Facts.
So, like, honesty, you know what I'm saying? Honesty with yourself, honesty with me, honesty in this situation. Because if it ain't what it is, then say it ain't what it is, and you know, like you can save both of us trouble.
Yeah. And
Um,
time.
like
Jesus.
trust. You know what I'm saying? Trust. If you can't trust me to know like the right thing, or you can't trust me to not have you out here looking stupid, like everything that I do you're questioning, then you should be by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
By yourself. Trust issues are not the way to go with me.
Not at all.
Respect, no, just respect. Like, respect me when I'm not there. Respect, you know, our relationship. Respect the situation that's going on at hand or whatever. Like, respect goes a long way. I wouldn't do you like that. Don't do me like that. Like, it's really that simple.
It is
Um,
that simple.
yeah. When it comes to like my friendships, it's a little different because like boundaries is one. Like that's a non-negotiable. Like
Mm-hmm.
stay in your lane. Like be able to know that you're just my friend, and you know, like that. At the end of the day, like I'm gonna make the decision. Like you can give me your opinion, but like it's not your opinion. Your opinion isn't the end all be all. Your opinion isn't my decision.
Yeah.
Like know how to like be a friend.
Yeah. Fall back.
Uh, loyalty. Loyalty. You know, like I feel like loyalty is reciprocated. You know what I'm saying? Like if I know you loyal to me, I'm gonna be loyal to you. If I know you supporting me, I'm gonna support you. Like I'm at your events just like you at my events. Like that
Mm-hmm.
loyalty, like I got your back. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I say I'm gonna do something, I follow through with that. Like, you know, teamwork, you know what I'm saying? Uh huge. Like, can you like what do you bring to the team? What you know what I'm saying? Like know your role on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Play position. We all have a different role to play. Uh, but together we're a unit. Like we gonna ride together, we gonna die together type shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Respect still, same thing, you know. Communication, yeah, for real. Communication, respect, loyalty. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I agree with all of those. Agree with all of those because
You
you definitely got to have all of that, and understanding your lane is the biggest part. The biggest part because you'll do all those other things by default if you understand your lane. If you stay in your lane, yes. Well, my last question for you is: if you knew then what you know now, would you change anything?
Nope. Nope. Like,
I love the
because
deep breath.
you know, I had asked myself that question earlier, and I was like, yeah, man, I would. Like, if I knew what I knew now back then, I would have probably did a lot of things differently.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I would have because I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be
Mm-hmm.
right here. You know what I'm saying? So like, I just feel like this, even if the decisions were made differently, the outcome would still be the same.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if the outcome's still gonna be the same, why would I change anything? Like I keep the experiences, keep the memories. Like it's been a blast. It's been a blast. Like
For real.
good times, bad times. Like it has been a blast, and I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a thing
Yeah.
because of where I am. Like I'm happy with where I am. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like because it's still getting better. It's still getting better. You know, as long as I got breath in my body, there's time to get better. There's time to get more things right. So no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't change anything.
That's right. Because the outcome would be the same still.
So
Yes.
yeah, I'm happy with it because why? Because I'm not in charge.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know what I'm
That's
saying? Like, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
and that's what I want to hear. Well, Larry, I really do appreciate you for coming on and sharing your story and like letting these people know that choosing positivity is the way to go. Because
Like,
there's gonna be a million things that go wrong, but you can focus on the thing that did go right.
yeah,
So,
even if it's just one thing went right. You know what I'm saying? So as long as one thing went right, you got something to be grateful for.
mhm. Yep. And I'm super proud of you, and I know that God is about to do some more things with you. So I just pray that you continue to go on the path that you're on, and like you will reach that level. I'm telling you, like
I
you're gonna get
thank
there.
you so much, Trina, for like having me on here. I was so bummed. I was reading those questions and I was like, oh my God, she is about to dig into my life. And
No,
I hope that after it's over with, I still look like the model of success. Like,
you are successful though.
you know what I'm
Look,
saying? Like, no, because and that's what I'm grateful for. I'm so glad that I got to share that perspective, because everything is okay. Like things aren't that bad. Like
mm-hmm.
and they're getting better every moment. So I'm grateful. I'm appreciative. Because if it wasn't for those questions, you wouldn't have made me think about it or just be in the moment. Like because
Wow.
I just thought it was just me learning how to wait tables. They thought that I was good, so they kept putting me in a plane. But you said it, like learning how to serve is how I learned how to lead.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so humbling.
You
That's
are a
so
servant leader. You are a servant leader. You really are.
I
It,
never would have thought I never would have thought that I would enjoy like waiting tables this much. You know what I'm saying? I just knew I was gonna be in corporate America, suit
Hmm.
and tie. Like
Yep.
people tell me that all the time. Oh, you did it done, and I'm like, I really just like waiting tables. I like taking care of people. I like
Hmm.
meeting people. And
Yep. You would be
thank you for,
miserable, huh?
I said thank you for that. Like you helped me see another bright side.
Wow. Well, that makes me extremely happy. Thank you for sharing that. Because look, I was just going off of what the spirit told me to say, but I really felt that in my spirit, and I was like, I have to say this right now. Right now. I'm not even gonna wait. I gotta say it right now. Um, but I feel like you would be miserable in corporate America. I know
Oh
I would be
yeah. Oh
miserable
my
in
God.
corporate America.
I
I
sat
never
at
got
a
an
desk.
interview.
I sat at a desk for 1 week. Like
Mm-mm.
it bothered me. I got to be out there in the action.
Seriously.
I can't do this. I got to be out in the trenches.
I will say this too, Larry. You know, I've never had a professional job or a professional interview, right? Like ever. And I have degrees on degrees, and I ain't never had one.
Mm,
What does that tell you? God shielded me from it. Like, I
yep.
feel that. I'm like, look, he
Cause
has
this,
to be.
this is your lane right here. This lane right here. Life coaching. Like
Enjoy it. I enjoy it. I really do. It's fun. And for me, it's all about helping people win. And that's my why. Like,
yeah.
I just want to see people win, and I want people to understand that life doesn't have to be that difficult. Most of it is our decisions. God
Hmm.
is just sitting there like, oh, you gonna do that? Okay, I'm gonna let you. And
Hmm.
then you're gonna have to reap the repercussions of it. So, I mean, yeah. But anywho, well, I guess I shall let you go.
Oh my gosh. Anytime, anytime, anytime.